What up? What up? What up? Let me get a sound check. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. Let me get a sound check real quick. If you can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. All right, I want to welcome everybody to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is R2 Cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's live, we will be discussing Floyd being held hostage. Devin Haney was cheated, and Ryan drops a diss track. But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as we go throughout the live. And make sure you come up here and hop up with me on the panel and drop your 2 cents and let me know what you're thinking, what you think about what I said, what's your opinion, whether you agree, whether you disagree, whether I'm on point, whether you think I'm hating, whatever your opinion is, be sure to come up and let me know. Let's see, we got some people in here already in the building. Noble Young in the building. What's going on? Ariana, salute. Cool JC 26. What is up? So how are y'all doing this Sunday afternoon? Got about a little over an hour and a half on here today. getting off at 7. I think I'll be running my shows on Sundays from 5 to 7. I think that's a good time for me. I've been doing it the past couple of weeks. It's been working out pretty well for me. Uh, I plan on maybe adding some possible shows throughout the week once my schedule changes up a little bit. We can come on here and chop it up with this boxing talk. So, what do you guys think about the fights this weekend? The card with the Virgil Ortiz, the Lorme, Bartholomew, and Ramirez. What y'all think about those fights this weekend? I think the Virgil Ortiz fight was pretty decent. He was able to get him in there in round 1, and he's looking to face Tim Tszyu next. My only issue that I'm having, or my only challenge that I'm having with Virgil Ortiz is that, he went through his health issues and his health problems, and he was out of the ring for a while. And he's only probably fought a total of 1 round since he's been back, because he's getting these guys in the ring and he getting them out of there in the first round. So he's not able to get any rounds in since his long layoff. I think that once he, starts to step up the competition, that essentially will do him more harm than good. But Virgil Ortiz still looks good. He's a good fighter. Still got that pop, got that power. I'm really interested to see what a fight would look like between him and Tim Tszyu. But if I have to make a prediction or pick somebody, I would probably go with Tim Tszyu to win the fight, because I think Tim Tszyu has a longer reach on. I think Tim Tszyu has a longer reach on Virgil Ortiz, and for some reason, people are not able to stay away from that overhand right from Tim Tszyu, and I could definitely see Tim Tszyu getting caught with that. Not Tim Tszyu, Virgil Ortiz getting caught with that. Now, the Ramirez Bartholomew fight was pretty good. And that was a pretty good fight. I felt like Bartholomew wasn't really throwing enough punches or engaging as he should. I'm not sure if he was trying to, reserve his energy, or if that was just kind of like his strategy. Because in those earlier rounds, Bartholomew was catching Ramirez with that right hand. He was letting off some nice shots. Ramirez was refusing to go down. He kind of stayed out of the range a little bit, because at first he was kind of rushing in. I thought he was going to get caught rushing in, but he stayed out of the range and was able to pick his shots and get his shots off and remain in the fight. And as the fight went on, Bartholomew started throwing less and less punches. He was just kind of shelling up. Looked like he was just shelling up and trying to pick a shot and land that one big shot. Now, I don't know if that's what he was trying to do, or if he was just trying to conserve energy because he was tired, because he kind of punched himself out earlier in the fight. So it could have went either way with that. But either way, Ramirez was able to come out with the win. Bartholomew's a good fighter, man. I would like to see him in the ring with some more people. He's a decent fight. He's going to give you a tough fight. I remember when I seen him fight Gary Russell, he gave him a tough fight. So he's a nice little journeyman, a decent fighter. He's pretty good. It was a pretty decent card last night. Got to enjoy some boxing and watch some boxing, which is always good. And I think we got some cards every single weekend the next, 2 months, I believe. I know we got Canelo McGee coming up next weekend. What's y'all 2 cents about that fight? What do you all think about the Canelo McGee fight? Let me know and drop it below your 2 cents. Big Supreme in the building. What's going on, Big Supreme? What is up with you? But what are y'all thoughts on Canelo Munguia fight? As I was watching the fight last night, they were showing highlights from Munguia, and then they were showing highlights from Canelo, and I'm just like, it looked like Canelo's about to destroy this guy, man. Like, man, I just don't see what everybody else sees about this fight. I go to chats and I talk to people, and there's some people even advocating that Munguia is gonna win the fight. And I don't know. I'm like, how, Sway? I don't think Munguia has the greatest defense, and I don't think Munguia has the greatest power either. Like, what is he gonna do? What is his game plan gonna be? Somebody in the chat, let me know what Munguia could do to beat Canelo. What does Munguia's game plan have to be in order to beat Canelo? Big Supreme say he got Canelo by late stoppage. Let's see. Cool JC said I got Canelo winning by stoppage. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, everybody has you getting knocked out. I haven't looked up the odds yet, but I'm gonna look up the odds and see what Vegas say. But everybody got you getting knocked out. Like, I don't I don't know, man. I'm not really a fan of Munguia like that, or a fan of Canelo like that. I've seen maybe a couple fights from Munguia. I do watch the Canelo fights, but even before, when they were talking about making the fight, I was like, are they serious? They're going to let Munguia fight Canelo? Like, why would they make that fight? I mean, but I guess he's gonna go in there and step to Canelo and get knocked out. I wonder why y'all keep saying Canelo by late stoppage. I think he's gonna get him out of there early. Why y'all think it's gonna be a late stoppage? I think he's gonna get him out of there early. Why do y'all think it's gonna be a late stoppage? I don't know if he's gonna be able to take that power from Canelo. I do not know if he's gonna be able to take that power from Canelo. And Big Supreme said he think after the 7th. And let's talk about chit chat about this real quick topic. Devin, the Dream, Haney, Ryan Garcia, still a top topic of discussion after the devastating loss, some might say, that Devin Haney experienced to Ryan Garcia. A lot of people were surprised. A lot of people couldn't believe it. Now, I was on record saying that it was my belief that Ryan Garcia would stop Devin Haney, right? And if Ryan Garcia wasn't able to stop Devin Haney, that Devin Haney would definitely be touching the canvas in this fight. Part of me did feel like Devin Haney would be able to overcome it and outbox Ryan Garcia and win, but I did believe that Ryan Garcia did have a shot at beating Devin Haney, and let me tell you why. I felt like we haven't seen Devin Haney be challenged in any of his fights. And by challenged, I mean, we never really seen Devin fighting people his size. He was usually bigger than them. He usually had the longer reach on them. And they were smaller fighters. And he usually had like age difference on them. They typically were older fighters. And so I knew that the Ryan Garcia fight would be a huge challenge for Devin Haney. Like, and I don't know why people just dismiss that. Like, a lot of this quote unquote outrage or disbelief is just simply because people overlooked Ryan Garcia. I don't know, I guess because he's on YouTube or because he liked to dance on Instagram videos. But they tried to act like Ryan Garcia had no skill. Like, it was a lot of people like, oh, Devin Haney gonna wash him. He gonna do him like he did Regis. And I'm like, he definitely not about to do him like he did Regis. Like, I gotta stop that. So fast forward, we had a fight. Devin gets rocked in the first round, and I really think that turned the whole fight. I think after Devin got hit with that shot, he was unable. He was concussed, or he was his equilibrium was off, or whatever the case may be. But he just wasn't able to really get his feet underneath him like that, and that changed the whole course of the fight. So, Chad, I want to know what you all think. Let me know and drop it below. Would you all like to see a rematch? And if they were to rematch, what are some things that Devin could do in order to be victorious against Ryan Garcia? What? Okay, go ahead. Go tell your brother. All right. So, what are some things he could do? Because I was thinking that. Hold on, give me some drink. I was thinking that Devin was gonna come in there. He was gonna use his feet. And he was gonna use his jab and box around and just stay out the way. And it would have looked like he was running. A lot of people probably would have said he was running, but the only thing he can do is stay out the way. Give me a second. So that's what I thought that he was gonna do. To go in there and step to Ryan, to me, it was just a huge mistake. But let me see what y'all 2 cents, what you got to say about that. You said they was caught up in the Hanos frenzy. I guess so. Ryan has lost his damn mind calling out Boots and Crawford. Man, y'all know. And I want to say, y'all know Ryan ain't finna do that, but ain't no telling with Ryan. Ryan is a wild card. And I keep saying this. Somebody that's not afraid to embarrass themselves and somebody that's not afraid to get beat up is a very dangerous person. So Ryan not afraid to embarrass himself and he's not afraid to get beat up. So will he fight Boots or Crawford? I doubt it, but shit, you never know. But I don't think they got time to be fooling around with Ryan. I think Ryan is going to be, if I was to label his career, I would say Ryan's going to be a high paid journeyman. I don't really see Ryan fighting for championship belts. I don't really see Ryan trying to be undisputed. I don't really see Ryan doing all of that. And honestly, he doesn't need to. I feel like Ryan is more of an entertainer. And all Ryan needs to do is put on competitive fights. He can get away with fighting top guys and getting his ass whooped because nobody expects him to win. Nobody expects him to win. He can get away with it. As long as he put on a competitive fight, he has a huge following outside of boxing. He has like a huge casual following. So they don't follow boxing. They don't understand how the belts work. They don't understand none of that. They just gonna know that Ryan fighting and they gonna buy a ticket to see him fight. Says Dev would have to pull a Shakur to beat Ryan or come close to winning. And that's what I was saying, Cool JC. He gonna have to move around. He's gonna have to move around. You're not about to go in there and bang with Ryan Garcia because Ryan Garcia's speed and power overcomes a lot of his flaws, and nobody wants to admit that. And I keep saying, when you have fighters with certain attributes, sometimes all that he can box shit, and all that he can box and he got skill, all that it don't matter. Because when you're fighting a fighter that got great skill, great power, on top of that has mastered a punch you don't see coming, that's a very dangerous fighter. You got to be on your game the whole entire fight, the whole 12 rounds. You cannot slip up or you will get caught. Can you beat them and can you still win? Absolutely. They're definitely beatable. But if your chin is an issue, if you can't really take shots like that, that's even more pressure on you. So I said this before the fight. Devin had all the pressure on him on this fight because he's the one that had a lot to lose if he was to lose this fight. And if people were more honest about the fight, I don't think Devin would have had, quote unquote, a lot to lose. It would have been a competitive fight. He would have lost, and it would have been like, oh, you got your ass whooped, whatever. People would have had to say what they had to say. But when you put all the extras on it, it just makes it worse. And then for people to come out, and this is my 2 cents, to be like, oh, it was a draw. Oh, Ryan cheated and this and that. And listen, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, especially if you feel like a fighter cheated. I mean, it is what it is. You feel like he cheated because he came in 3 pounds overweight. But really, the issue is you really just kind of got beat at your own weight game you've been playing. You just got beat at your own weight game you've been playing. You go back, you look at Devin fights, and he got exposed in the Regis fight for coming in 20, 25 pounds overweight. And when Regis said in the interview, he deliberately ignored the stipulations that was put in the contract. He deliberately ignored them. Regis just didn't do nothing about it because he wasn't being smart about it, business wise, and he just went ahead and went with the fight anyway. But he deliberately ignored the stipulations. He didn't give Regis no extra money. He didn't do any of that. He basically just punked Regis and bullied Regis like, yeah, we're going to fight anyway. And I'm coming in, 25 pounds over the stipulations that we agreed to in the contract. But nobody wants to say that. And a lot of people not saying the reason why they probably took the money. Okay, first of all, let's say, and that's why I titled let me go back. Let me go back. This is why I titled this exactly what it says, right? Ryan Garcia cheated fair and square. Ryan Garcia cheated fair and square. Why can't I put my thing up there? Here we go. Ryan Garcia cheated fair and square. And let me let me specify what I'm saying when I mean it. Let me see. All right. The Keji says Devin needs to take off the rest of 2024. He shouldn't be taking punches like that again for a while. Lenovo says despite Devin wearing a headgear and sparring, Tank was laying heavy punches on Devin and did not knock him out or drop Devin. So why was mentally and physically unhealthy Ryan able to? I'm gonna address that too. Dragon Assassin, what's going on? Andre Noble in the building. What is up? Cool JC say I can see Bud and Boots fighting Ryan for the payday and then knock him out cold. I mean, I guess, but who would even want to see that? I guess people are watching to be entertained. NHA2, where you been? What's going on? 2 cents, your boy pulled it off, and I have to eat crow because I was one of the people that ain't give him no shot against Dev. Yes, sir. NHA2, I kept telling y'all for months that Ryan was gonna beat that boy. We got AM Sports Media in the building. What's up, AM Sports Media? Thank you for stopping by. Everybody just saying what's up. Big Supreme say he came in over 18%. Exactly, Big Supreme. He came in over 18%. Cool JC say Bill put crazy pressure on Dev by telling him to knock Ryan out. Bill souped up his own son. And that really don't make sense to me. AM Sports Media say he liked the title. Appreciate that. Bruce Lee said, I fear not the man who practiced 10,000 kick once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Ryan has mastered that left hook. Ryan has mastered the left hook, and you don't even see it coming. That's what makes it so dangerous. Big Tony, salute. What's going on? Okay, so just to sum it all up, why do I say Ryan Garcia cheated fair and square, right? Several reasons. Now, a lot of people were running around here because they wanted to criticize Tank so bad about the rehydration clause, quote unquote clause that he put on Ryan and how that was weak and how he weight drained Ryan and all of this stuff. And my question is always, first of all, Ryan Garcia hadn't even fought at the 140 division yet when he fought Tank. He was still a 135 pounder. On top of that, Tank's a small guy. So, and rehydration clause are used in boxing. They're not just unique to Tank. And just like I was on the panel arguing with somebody, they were talking about how a rehydration clause puts the fighter at a disadvantage and it's not fair. And so I asked the question, well, why does the IBF have a 10-pound rehydration clause with their belt? Are you telling me that they're putting their champion, they're putting their fighters at an unfair advantage because they won't let them rehydrate more than 10 pounds? So if it was really that big of a disadvantage, I don't think the IBF would have their rule to go along with their belt. My second thing is, how am I draining you because I won't let you, because I'm taking your advantage away? If I'm a small guy and you can have an advantage over me by hydrating up 25 pounds, how am I draining you and taking advantage of you and cheating you when I'm taking your advantage away? So part of the reasons why they couldn't do what they needed to do in the Ryan fight and make sure that he don't play that weight game on them and get over on them in the weight game is because he had been talking so much about rehydration clauses and how he ain't taking no rehydration clause from Tank. It ain't gonna be no rehydration clause because it ain't gonna be that he ain't taking that and this and that. And so I'm like, okay, you just running around here talking about how ain't gonna be no rehydration clause. You got played. Because guess what Ryan knew? Ryan knew you wasn't going to put no rehydration clause on them. And that's another point I want to make. These fighters got to be careful with what they saying in public because you got smart people that's taking these things and they're using it against you. Ryan knew that they wasn't going to put no rehydration clause on them. One, he been hearing them yelling and saying it out the Tank, and he knew it would mess up his reputation if he did. And two, he didn't want a rehydration stipulation because he also planned on rehydrating high up in the fight. So Ryan knew there wasn't going to be no rehydration clause. So I don't think Ryan cheated. I think they just got beat at their own weight game. Another thing, they had an opportunity to weigh in again on Saturday to do the same day weigh-in. They had an opportunity to do that. Why y'all think they didn't do it? Why y'all didn't think they didn't do the same day weigh-in? Because they was playing the weight game also. Now, usually when an opponent miss weight, it's looked at as like, oh, they was tripping, they wasn't taking it serious. And you would think, well, maybe they're already so drained and they just can't get down anymore to make any weight. So some fighters might feel like they have even more of an advantage because this fighter is struggling to make the weight. So maybe they felt like they had even more of an advantage because Ryan Garcia didn't make the weight and he was struggling to get to 143. And I'm just saying that this was probably their thought process throughout this, which is why it was like, okay, cool. And on top of that, I'm gonna get a couple meal, an extra meal, or 600,000 or whatever they agreed to. Oh yeah, let's do it then. Let's do it then. So now after the fight, it's coming out that Ryan Garcia cheated. And this is what people saying. I'm literally arguing and going back and forth with people that Ryan Garcia cheated. And I'm like, how did he cheat? Right? It's not illegal to miss weight. It's not illegal to miss weight. And I did a live some time ago. Y'all can go check it out where I came up with this tier system for cheating because, like I said in my live, the corruption is part of boxing. Like the cheating is part of boxing. It's all a part of the sport boxing, but nobody wants to talk about that part of it, right? They kind of want to keep it hush, right? Nobody wants to talk about that part of it. Nobody wants to talk about how Devin Haney been playing the weight game, fighting smaller opponents and coming in 20, 30 pounds heavier than them. Nobody wants to talk about that aspect of it. But now that the tables have turned and you got beat at your own weight game, now you want to make Instagram posts saying you want a fair fight. You want a fair fight? What's a fair fight? What's a fair fight? And so another point that I'm also was trying to make, I'm like, okay, so what is really the issue with the 3 pounds, right? Because they're saying, oh, well, Devin was drained. And I'm thinking to myself, how are you drained because you had to make 140? It doesn't matter who you were fighting, right? It doesn't matter who Devin was fighting, right? He was going to make the 140-pound limit. So how is the issue that Devin was drained? How was he drained? Because he made the weight that he was supposed to make. How was he drained? So are y'all mad that Ryan wasn't drained? Is that the issue that we're having here? Because there's no way that Devin Haney should have been so drained because he made the weight. He was so drained that he was at a disadvantage because he didn't make the weight. He had to make the weight anyway, no matter who he was fighting. It doesn't matter if he was fighting another 140 pounder that night. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he was fighting Teofimo Lopez. He would have had to make the weight. So why was he so drained that he was at such a great disadvantage? So let's isolate the real issue. The real issue to me, just to give my 2 cents, is that Ryan wasn't quote unquote drained. The issue is that Ryan wasn't drained because Ryan decided to be like, F it, I'm not gonna make the weight. So that's really what the issue is. The issue isn't that Devin Haney was so drained. How was he so drained? He's a 140-pound fighter. And if he is so drained, he's in the wrong weight class. He needs to move up. He needs to move up. And another point that I want to make is that it's not cheating if you agree to it. It's not. See, when you don't know, I guess let's say it's a tier 1, quote unquote, cheating, right? But if you don't know somebody's doing something, that's what gives them the unfair advantage. That's when I would say, oh, he's cheating. But you knew Ryan was overweight. You knew Ryan was going to miss the weight. They came at you to renegotiate the contract. And then people say, oh, well, there's no way that Devin was going to stop the fight and not take the fight. He's not that type of person. That's fine. But that don't mean you was cheated. You had the opportunity. See, you can't say you're cheated or you don't want to do something because of the consequences of the choices. You still had the choice. And the choice that you made was to continue to go on with the fight. Let me see. Let me go through some of y'all comments real quick. The choice that you made was to continue to go through with the fight. So, like I say in my title, if Ryan Garcia cheated, he cheated fair and square. It says Ryan made too much money to be a journeyman. Ryan, an attraction that don't care about no belts. He can fight YouTubers, boxers, MMA guys, anybody. He like Jake Paul. Exactly. That's what I mean. And when I say journeyman, I use the term loosely. I mean, like, he not about to be out here fighting for quote unquote legacy, trying to get belts, trying to be undisputed. He not gonna be doing all that. Big Supreme said they want Tank to go up to 147, but cry about anyway going to 130 to fight Tank. Laugh out loud. And I'm gonna talk about Tank too and Shakur here in a second. 2 cents, great topic and great topic. To be honest, self pick Ryan to win right after self. Seeing he was a 4 pounds over, I knew it was a wrap for Haney. Unfair advantage. Weight matters, hence weight classes. Big facts assassin. Why Tank annihilated Ryan? Because Tank is complete, but Devin couldn't because there are levels. Damn Skippy, Tank is a complete fighter. Devin is levels above Tank, and especially Ryan. Whoa. Devin is levels above Tank. I'm gonna have to disagree with that, Lenovo, and especially Ryan. Devin is more complete boxer. Devin is not a more complete boxer than Tank. He's not a more complete boxer than Tank. See Dewberry say preach. Peace and blessings, 2 cents and blessings to the chat. What's up, Samuel Washington? What's up, C Dewberry? Listen, if you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And you feeling like you can't go backwards, you got to step up the competition, and then at the same time feeling like you need 10, 15, $20 million.
Nobody wants to fight Crawford, though.
In a rough spot.
Everybody's afraid to fight Crawford.
So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as we're going throughout the video. King say lame excuse. If making 140 drains you, you are at the wrong weight class. That's all I'm saying. If you're so drained, right, then you need to go to a different weight class. You can't depend on your opponent being as drained as you, right? C. Dewberry said they need to go back to same day weigh-ins. That will put a stop to all this weight bullying and boxing. Well, we got to look at the reason why they got away from the same day weigh-ins, right? They were saying it was too dangerous, right? People was doing too much to try to cut the weight, passing out and doing all this extra stuff. They were saying it's just too dangerous for these fighters to try to cut the weight for the same day weigh-in. At Dragon, in the business of boxing, the one man who is the most draw financially will be favored, and the scales will be tilted to favor him or her. It's about making profit. That's true. That's why when you A side, you can put yourself at certain advantages. Is that cheating? Would y'all say that is cheating? The issue was they both would have been drained if they both made the weight. Dev shouldn't have taken the money nor agreed to it. His greed got the best of him. Ryan mastered one particular attribute, while Devin is good at more than Ryan, but hasn't mastered them all. He tried to fight in the pocket, and he's not good at that, hence Ryan won. Ryan needs to rematch Devin and stop trying to call Tank out, because that's a wrap. He won't see about 30 million from Tank. This is my thing about the rematch, right? You got Devin, who didn't rematch Loma, which I kind of think that's unfair that people hold that against Devin, because he obviously was not able to make 135. Y'all seen how he looked on the scale. But then at the same time, Devin going to backdoor and try to say he offered Shakur a contract, and Shakur ducked him, when I knew all along that there was no way that Devin was going to make 35. So I don't even know why they're going through this shenanigans. Then you got Tank that beat Ryan, and then you got Ryan that beat Devin, and Ryan is saying he won't give Devin a rematch, but he wants Tank to give him a rematch. So, I mean, like, what are we talking about? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's starting to feel like these guys have no self or emotional awareness about what's going on with them, or they just bullshitting and capping. And if you are a fan of my channel and you've been watching my channel for long, I've been telling y'all for a minute that Ryan Garcia is a bullshitting ass, capping ass ninja. Ariana say Ryan need to rematch. What's up, Freak with Flower? What is going on? Ryan's dad said there will be no rematch. And they can keep saying it won't be no rematch, it won't be no rematch, but you never know. We all know money talks. Tank can fight in the pocket on the back foot and has good footwork and ring IQ, hence why Tank knocked out Ryan. It says Ryan better drop all this talk about fighting EJ though. Man, nobody even. I don't even know why people entertaining that. You know what's crazy? People are like, I really do want to see Ryan fight EJ. It'll be a good fight. Like, why do y'all think that'll be a good fight? Ryan Garcia versus Earl Spence will be Mikey Garcia 3.0. Like that would not be a good fight. The fight makes no sense. It wouldn't be competitive. EJ is all the way at 154 pounds. He's too big for Ryan. Like it's just, I don't know if this is like casuals talking. People don't really understand how weight classes work. But and like I said, Ryan Garcia's fan base is just casual fans. They don't really understand boxing like that. So of course that'll sound good to somebody that don't understand what's really going on. Oh, I want to see Ryan fight Earl. Oh, Ryan should fight Fundora. Like, stop it, y'all. How are you levels above a guy who destroyed you? Oh, B Dog talking to somebody in the chat. Ryan needs to rematch Devin and leave take alone. And this is another thing. Well, let me wrap this up. So that's my issue with the whole Ryan Garcia cheated coming in. With the 3 points. Hold on, let me see. Frequent flyer. Even of all people know Hanos is not more complete. Even I, of all people, know Hanos is not more complete fighter than Tank. But that don't automatically mean Tank beats Devin. And you're right, frequent flyer. It does not automatically mean nothing. Like a lot of people want to take fighters' attributes and try to make it seem like, oh, this fighter do this and this, they'll wash them. And I mean, sometimes you can put things together and you can see where this fighter's attributes will overcome this fighter's attributes and they'll be able to win. And I think that that's the mistake a lot of people made in this Ryan and Devin fight. They didn't take Ryan's attributes and Devin's attributes and really take an honest look at how Ryan's attributes could overcome what Devin do to win. They just automatically made the assumption that Ryan Garcia can't fight and can't do shit and that Devin Haney was just gonna wash him. They just automatically made that assumption. And that was a mistake. He says, I would like them to weigh boxers just before they enter the ring so we know their true weight. I mean, that would also help with the betting, right? I agree with the Keji. That would also help with the betting. And Dev kept getting hit with the left hook all night. Tank was smart enough to get away from the hook. SMH. We got Ashley's corner in the building. What's going on, Ashley? I don't mean weigh in, but just what weight they rehydrated to. Shakur duck queen. Who did Shakur duck? How, frequent flyer? How did Shakur duck Devin Haney when we all seen that there was no way that Devin Haney could make 135 again? I honestly was saying that it doesn't. I don't want to see Devin Haney fight Tank or Shakur at 135 after the Loma fight because it wouldn't be a good fight because he would be too drained. I was not encouraging the fight at all. Like I was like, okay, Shakur, yeah, go ahead and take the money, take the belts, because you get a shot at the belts, whatever, take the 25%. But I already knew like it doesn't make sense for him to be trying to make that fight when he couldn't even make the weight for Loma. Time out with Mr. Moss. What's up, Mr. Moss? Where you been at? Hey, y'all make sure y'all punch that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. King Ryan feel like he got drained by Tank. So, Frequent Flower, let me ask you a question. I think I might have mentioned this before you came in here. And this is going to lead me to my next topic of why do people want Tank Davis to move up and put himself at a disadvantage to fight fighters just to prove he is great? Now, I say I'm one of the belief that elite fighters do not fight outside of their abilities, right? Sometimes they may go and fight outside of their abilities just to try to prove something. But you seen what happened when Charlo did that. He tried to move up weight classes after injury and a long layoff and fight Canelo. And he quickly got up there and realized that he was outside of his ability, and he did whatever he needed to do in order to not get knocked out and hurt very badly in that fight so that he continue on with his career. A lot of people flamed him for that. A lot of people said he was this and he was that. But whatever your thoughts may be, he lives to fight another day, and he's still the best fighter in the 154 division as of right now. So why do people want Tank Davis to go up to 144 pounds and 140 pounds. Now, I'm not saying that Tank can't fight at 140 pounds because he's already went up to 140 pounds and beat Mario Barrios, which he expressed after that fight that it was very uncomfortable for him. So he already understands that that weight might be a little bit outside of his ability. So if I go up to 140 pounds and I'm like, you know what, I'm up here, I'm already outside of my abilities, I'm gonna put a rehydration clause on my opponent because I'm not going to let them get any more advantages on me. Is it frowned upon for me to take your advantage away so we can be on a more even playing field? Can somebody explain that to me? I don't understand that. It says, this is why I respect the frequent flyer RC because he keeps it real regardless while still supporting his favorite boxers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dante's boxing talk, what's going on? I am not sure Devin really want that rematch for real. If he lose to Ryan again, it's really over. Devin going to get some easy setup fights. And moving forward, I believe Devin career could still be cool. Like, he is just gonna be certain styles he's gonna have to stay away from. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be certain styles of fighters he's gonna have to stay away from, and him having a lack of a chin is really a problem. It's really a problem. So he's gonna have to keep moving strategically, and he's still young though. Devin's only 25 or 26. He a grown man, don't get me wrong, but he's still young. Oh, and then let me show y'all this. I want to know, did y'all peep this? And let me know what y'all think about this real quick, because y'all know I gotta go here sometimes. Let me see where I'm at. Ashley Corner, hey girl. Yeah, I gotta retire that Haney's name. Laugh out loud. Yeah, Ryan might be stronger at 144, but he makes the same mistakes. Instead of 7 round, it will be in the 3rd round. Tank knows his deficiencies. But we can't act like Tank didn't get hit. Tank got hit a couple times by Ryan. His face was all marked up at that fight. And Tank said himself, Ryan's the hardest hitter he's ever fought. He said that out of his mouth. So I don't know why Devin, after hearing Tank say something like that, wouldn't kind of take heed to that. Tank resume just getting better and better with Ryan Pitbull, Barrios up big wins. You got Rolly became a champion after he fought Tank. Pitbull became a champion after he fought Tank. Barrios got some good wins and possibly about to become a champion after he fought Tank. Tank's resume is aging quite well for everybody to keep saying he ain't fought nobody. Ryan just pulled off the biggest upset of the year, but Tank don't fight nobody. I don't get it. I got Tank beating them all, but that's just my opinion. Slogan 1, what's going on? Lucky McKinnell's, what's up? Devin didn't want to fight against Shakur, Broner, Tank, or Thurman. Man, he better get in there with Broner now. He better get in there with Thurman now. He better get in there with them now. I don't know why he definitely should fight Tank and Thurman. Them some reputable names on your resume. They older. They fit right into your profile. I think he bigger than AB. They fit right into your profile. Tank maybe even pound for pound one. Guys he beat going to get big wins. Look at Bud's resume. His guys did nothing after. The KJ, I wasn't even gonna bring it up, man. I wasn't even gonna go there. Ashley's Corner say they want Tank to lose so they can make fun of him and ignore the difference in weight. Exactly. They want Tank to come fight me at 154. Like, dude, what? The guy is 130 pounder. He's really a 130 pounder? I think he maybe started at 126. Y'all let me know and drop it below which weight class he started at. Y'all steady want this. He 5'4"? Y'all steady want him to move up and up and up. And then when he like, okay, cool, I'll move up. You like, no weight class. Like, you want every single advantage you could possibly think of. Like, no, man, it don't even work like that. Dragon Assassin say a 2 cents boxing, exactly. They want Tank to be at an even more disadvantage for their favorite fighters because deep down they know their fighter can't beat Tank on an even playing field. Don't he be sparring? Don't he be when he sparred Sean Porter and sparring? He was like he can go up to 140. Come on, man. I gotta stop this. Shout out to 2 Cents. Get in lost in the script. Oh, getting lost in the script. What's going on? It just I mean, and I get it, right? Everybody is fans, everybody got their own opinions and this and that. And I get it, and that's cool, but this is mine. This is mine. I'm gonna drop the link in a second if anybody wanna come up here and get a 2 cents. Ashley's gonna say cheated fair and square. Yeah, Ashley, he cheated fair and square. That's exactly what happened. Tank is 5'5", 135 pounds. Yes, he went up to 140 to fight Barrios. He's not comfortable at 140 pounds. He's already stated that. One thing I noticed about Devin was that he looked much smaller in the Ryan fight than he did against Prograis. He did not look as cut, right? You know how usually he rehydrate and he looked as cut as he does. But look, let me show y'all this. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can see this and hear this. I thought this was interesting, right? This our buddy Victor. And I want y'all to watch this video and hear.
Doing for years and years.
But, all right, here we go. Here we go.
For this fight, he's training there in Las Vegas.
Can y'all hear that? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear that. I want to make sure everybody can hear it before I play it. So this is Victor Conti. Do y'all see it? Okay. This is Victor Conti speaking about him training Devin Haney for the Ryan Garcia fight.
For this fight, he's training there in Las Vegas. We communicate at a distance. Understand that a lot of the things that he does are protocols and methods and supplements and testing that he's been doing for years and years. He doesn't have to be at the snack gym to follow through with a lot of the things that we've helped him with over the years. So Devin's my favorite. I mean, he's in terms of respect because he's been able to monetize, be successful, keep positive, and be stable. And I see that those factors give him a very positive future,
So I wonder why it didn't show. Y'all know how to make this show on here? Come on, y'all. Oh, I know why it didn't show. Okay, I'm gonna play it again. Let me see. I'm trying to get it together, y'all. All right. All right, here we go. I'm gonna run it back.
For this fight, he's training there in Las Vegas. We communicate at a distance. Understand that a lot of the things that he does are protocols and methods and supplements and testing that he's been doing for years and years. He doesn't have to be at the snack gym to follow through with a lot of the things that we've helped him with over the years. So Devin's my favorite. I mean, he's in terms of respect because he's been able to monetize, be successful, keep positive, and be stable. And I see that those factors give him a very positive future,
So that video is fair use or whatever you're supposed to say, so they don't be trying to copyright your stuff. But that's a video from Twitter, and I want to get y'all 2 cents about that, where Victor Conti basically said, hey, Devin training in Vegas. He's not here at the snack gym for this fight. I'm not saying anything malicious or nothing like that. I'm just saying somebody mentioned that Devin didn't look the same for this fight as he did for his other fights. And I'm just curious if the fact that he did not train at the snack facility have anything to do with it. And so then
for this fight,
Victor proceeds to say, Victor says, in my opinion, there's need to dispel the rumor team and Ryan Garcia had an advanced plan to come in 3 pounds heavy at the weigh-in at Real Devin Haney with Real Devin Haney. It's my belief there was no such plan, and he simply decided at the last moment not to make the 140-pound limit to force the fight on all parties. Then somebody said, he said Floyd told him to do it. If he comes in 3 pounds over, he won't be allowed to try to work it off in the 2 hours. If he came in under 3 pounds, was 2 pounds, they would give him 2 hours to work it off. I don't think Ryan or his team knew about the ruling, and Floyd told him. And Victor says, sorry, but I simply do not believe that that is true. So I just wanted to share that with you all real quick because I thought that that was really interesting, that the fact that Ryan Garcia did not train, Devin Haney did not train with Victor Conti at the snack facilities, and also that Victor decided to hop on and give his 2 cents about how he felt like Ryan Garcia didn't plan on coming in at the 3 pounds and this and that. I thought that that was quite odd. What y'all think about that? Let me know and drop it below your 2 cents. And another thing I want to say, everybody's saying, oh, well, Floyd told Ryan to come in at 3 pounds overweight. If y'all really just paid attention to Ryan, you would know that he ain't fought at 140 yet. Ryan Garcia hasn't made the weight in the division yet. He hasn't fought at 135 yet. All his fights have been at a catch weight because he cannot make, either he can't make the 140 weight or he won't make the 140 weight. Whatever it is, Ryan Garcia hasn't made 140 pounds since he's been fighting at the 140-pound division. So part of that kind of makes me believe, like, he's been doing this. So for people to be like, oh, he just came in and did it on purpose to have an advantage, he's been doing this. But a lot of people saying the issue is he didn't let them know in advance, I guess, like he normally does. So the biggest difference isn't that he did it, or if he was or wasn't going to do it. I think the biggest issue was the way he did it and his intention with doing it. But do y'all think that Victor kind of just took a shot at Dev, kind of taking up for Ryan? What y'all think about that? I thought that that was weird, that Victor had to drop his 2 cents. But Victor gotta try to get some attention when shit don't really be having nothing to do with him. That's my 2 cents. Let me see where I was at in the comment section. Let's see. We already read all that. Shakur Duck Queen. This is why I respect people flyer. I am not sure. KL, what's going on with you? How you doing today?
Hey, Queen. Yeah, I just had to come show you kind of some more.
What you got for me?
Well, you saying first of all, and you would know better than me, up until this point, Devin's been using snack for pretty much the last 5 fights before this one, or
I want to say he's been with Snack for a minute, way before his last 5 fights.
so what do you think it would be the reason that he just decided to be out the snack program, and any reason you would think so, or anything you hearing for that?
I really don't have no idea. Unless it was like in the contract, you can't work with Victor or something like that. Or maybe they had some issues. Who knows? That could go 1,000 ways. So
it could, but I just think, usually when you find a recipe for success, it's kind of like the Earl Spence and the Blu-ray thing, right? Like if you find a recipe for success and you just kind of change it out of nowhere, it's either maybe money. People want more money, or maybe don't want to train as hard. I don't think that would be Devin's problem. So I think that's interesting within itself. As far as the Ryan Garcia situation, as far as him saying that, he don't know, he doesn't think there. Victor just kind of talking out his, but I don't think I don't think Ryan just knew that. I definitely think Floyd Mayweather told him that because the way that it looked that they was in the beginning of negotiations and then Ryan pulled back and then all of a sudden he's back in it. So obviously I want to say Floyd told him to do that to play a mind game. Like you could just tell like Floyd had a little bit of a hand in this, like in terms of manipulating Ryan or Ryan allowing himself to be manipulated.
I don't know. I can't say that because
You don't
even
think
if
so?
I mean, maybe, but I don't think it's as much of an influence as people are giving Floyd credit for.
Okay.
Because if you go back and look at the Tank fight, he was
Mhm.
still doing the same troll. I'm gonna knock him out in 2 rounds. He was all on the Mike Tyson show. I'm gonna knock him out in 2 rounds. I'm feeling
Mhm.
the best I ever felt. I'm eating pizza at the weigh-in. Like this whole trolling thing he does, like that's what he does. He just really, really amped it up this fight. So he didn't do anything that much different than he normally does. He just turned the volume up on it, if you ask me.
Well, yeah, I mean, like his trolling, that is what it is. Ryan's a troll. Ryan's a social media star. He's, he from Gen Z. That's how they do. But more so, like he didn't come in wait well, he had to because the weight drain or whatever, and still missed it for this fight. He just looked very, very big and comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like he looked different.
He looked like that for his last fights too, because he been coming in at 143, all his fights at 140.
Okay. I mean, I don't. So it's funny. The last fight he did come in. Did he come in overweight for the Tank fight?
No, he couldn't.
He couldn't. So I mean, it's just one of those situations that where you could tell the weight drain clause definitely bothered him that last fight. You could tell during this fight he was like, I don't care. I'm not. I'm showing in at the weight that I feel like I could be comfortable. I'm not playing that game. Whether that had that much of an effect or whatever, that's another question. But he definitely came in a lot more prepared for what he wanted to do for fight night in terms of the weight and him being able to, move and do what he normally did. The Tank fight, he looked a little sluggish. He still was kind of doing his thing, but this one you could tell, like, all right, he knew what he wanted to do. Like there was not going to be no weight drainage. I The only reason why I feel like Floyd was whispered in his ear a little bit is just the whole situation of how everything's happening. Devin and Bill specifically. Bill's been talking a lot, and like Floyd said on the live, you rubbed a lot of people a certain type of way. So they talk crazy about Tank every chance they get, which is cool. It's boxing, it's promoting, but I guess a lot of people not really feeling that. So it just seemed like, hey, in particular, they was just like, all right, you see them in negotiations going back and forth on Twitter. All of a sudden, you see Floyd in the picture with him walking or something. The fight's off. Then they go back to it. Floyd ain't been saying nothing. He doing whatever. All of a sudden, after the loss, Floyd pop out, of course, to get his revenge on Bill Haney or whatever. But him trolling with Ryan, I don't know, man. I want to say that it's just trolling, but it's like we know Floyd to be a strategist as well as a troll. So
And
maybe
that's the topic I was gonna cover tonight. That was the perfect segue into the whole Tank Davis and Floyd beef and this and that.
Mm,
And so if you go back and research through my channel, I got videos saying this, and this is how I've noticed the pattern. And that's one of the reasons why I'm really glad I put my channel together, because I'm able to, it's kind of like I'm able to put my thoughts down about boxing and then see how well they age, right? I was
mm-hmm.
saying maybe like a year ago, like it seems like every time Tank have a fight, him and Floyd are beefing about something.
Mm-hmm.
There's some type of beef. Before Ryan last fight, they was beefing about the contract, I think it was, and how Floyd put him in a bad contract and all of this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you have Floyd, you have Ryan, you have Tank. They didn't toss Shakur in there, and they
Mm-hmm.
got this whole little drama thing going on. And I'm me personally, I'm not gonna fall for it, because if Ryan Garcia should have any of us boxing fans, anything, especially the hardcore fans, is not to believe none of this, right?
Most
And
definitely.
it just comes off as good marketing to me. And Floyd, a lot of people are like, well, Floyd can't stay out the spotlight. Floyd can't stop talking about himself. Floyd don't want nobody to be better than him. Like, let's be honest, nobody's going to be better than Floyd.
Ooh, oh, whoa, ho, 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 ho. Okay. I mean, hey,
Nobody, and I'm just saying, like, nobody is, when I say no, don't be better, nobody is going to have those accomplishments and accolades that Floyd has. One, because the whole landscape of boxing is different now. He came up in a whole different era. He came up in a whole different time. He doesn't have any reason to quote unquote stop anybody from being better than him.
you know,
So
that's true. I mean, that is true. I think the same thing, but like, I know I was not to name drop. I know the LDBC don't agree with that, but I will say that even though I don't think nobody gonna pass Floyd, Floyd's kind of, I don't want to call him no hater, but Floyd is, he dual minded when it comes to, like, he want to help you, but if he if you ain't signed with him, or if you do something weird, or if he feel like you trying to flex, he just himself, he just say, I got to get you back mode. So it's like, I don't think he necessarily trying to stop fighters, but I feel like if he feel a certain way about it, he definitely gonna try some weird stuff. He
he's
gonna do
definitely
something
petty
weird.
and messy. I agree.
Yeah.
He's definitely petty and messy. He definitely probably do be messing with people behind the scenes. He probably be doing all of that. But if you really pay attention to Floyd, it's very strategic when he popping his head out. It's very strategic when he's saying something. Bill been going around, and I could halfway believe him and Bill in some type of cahoots, because Bill been going around talking big boy stuff about Floyd, saying Terrence Crawford to beat everybody on Floyd resume. Floyd Mayweather overcharging you for fights you don't want to see. Like, Bill been going ham. Floyd ain't say nothing that whole time. Floyd did not come out, respond, or say nothing. So he's very strategic and calculated with what he's doing. And I I just think that I'm not sure what it is they're doing right now, but I feel like they're doing something, because do y'all really believe that Floyd Mayweather is being held hostage in Dubai because
Uh,
he owed people some money?
no, I don't believe that, but I do believe that something's going on over there. It's like this 2 cents. It's hard to decipher what really be going on, because, like you said, so much of this is strategy and back and forth and trying to cause commotion for promotion. And these days, it's hard to tell what's real and what's fake. Do I believe he's stuck in Dubai? No. Is Floyd known to gamble himself into some situations? We have heard rumors, right? We've never, he hasn't had no Michael Jordan situation where, they said that he was gambling so much that that's what might have what happened to his dad or something like that. That's what they say. So we've never heard nothing like that, but we do know, Floyd is a gambler.
Yeah. But trust me, Tank wouldn't be the first person to let us know that if it were true. And he
That's
definitely wouldn't be on X making fun of it and shit. Like, it's just weird. I don't think any of it's true for real. We
mm.
all know Tank got the fight coming up in June. So, what do you think about the Shakur call out that Floyd put on his Instagram? And I'm wondering, see, my thing too was also like, I thought Oscar and Floyd didn't even like each other. Why is he fooling with Ryan? Ain't Shakur Stevenson with Bob Arum? Why is he fooling with Shakur?
That is true. I thought that was super funny. At this point, we already know about Delaware and Floyd. That's why I thought it was weird when Ryan was hanging out with Floyd. I was like, what's this about? How is this even? How does this work? Your mortal enemy is Ryan, and the whole thing with Ryan too is, like, wasn't Ryan and Oscar and Bernard, didn't they have the biggest beef? Now all of a
Right?
sudden, like, nothing happened. Everybody
Now
cool
they
with each
cool.
other.
Now they cool, right?
It is what it
So
is. Mm-hmm.
it's just it's weird though. And so now you got Shakur calling out Tank. What you think about that, and what you think about that fight? And let me just say that if Shakur doesn't leave Bob, we can just stop talking about that fight, if you ask me. Because Bob is not gonna make the fight. He's already said he's not gonna make the fight. And we could just stop trying to make it seem like Shakur Stevenson is the only person that Tank can fight to prove he is who he really say that he is. Every time they say Tank ain't fought nobody, Tank ain't fought nobody, and I say, well, who do you want him to fight? Shakur, Devin? Like they're just only naming two people, so it's only two people that Tank can fight to prove that he's as good as that he shows he is. But what do you think about the fight with Shakur and how you see it going?
Um, man, after this Devin situation, after this Devin and Ryan Garcia situation, and after Shakur's last fight, which is the only thing we can kind of judge of at this moment in time, and knowing his style compared to Tank, man, I see a massacre. If that fight goes 8 rounds, I'll be shocked. And if it does, Shakur was dancing better than prime Chris Brown and Michael Jackson put together. That's all I got to say on that. I don't see him doing that for 12 rounds. And I'm gonna just say it like this: seeing what Ryan did to Devin and how Tank was able to kind of take some of his punches and weave through and all that, and how he was even to take Rolly's punches, and we know Rolly got heavy hands, even though he ain't got nothing else. I don't see how Shakur can keep Tank off him. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, you can move all you want, but if he try to walk you down and you don't have nothing to stop him or make him feel it, I don't see how, I don't see what he does to Tank. I see Tank knocking him out probably 8th, 9th round.
We got NHA Tube on the panel. What's up?
What's goody, 2 cents?
To you the other day. What's going on?
I'm chilling, man. How you been, Mel?
I'm
What's up, my
doing
guy on the
good.
panel? Sorry I didn't get your name.
Oh, Kal-El, brother, nice to meet you as well.
So
Yes,
NHA,
sir.
Ryan Garcia cheated fair and square. What you think about that?
Yeah, that about sums it up. I mean, shit. Dev knew what he was getting into before, when he missed weight. He could have just easily said, fights off. I mean, he ain't had no problem taking that whatever 1.5 million that Ryan had to cough up. So, hey, it's all fair in the end. And he did say after he came in overweight, he's still gonna whoop him.
He did say that.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's you're right. You ain't got nothing to complain about.
So
Besides,
what are your thoughts about two questions? What are your thoughts about a Ryan Garcia? Oh, he fell off? Oh, here we go. What are your thoughts about a Ryan Garcia Haney rematch? And what are your thoughts of Shakur and Tank fight? But we skipping over the Frank Martin and Tank fight. We got to talk about that too if I have some time. But what do you think about that? That's what's in the latest boxing news.
yeah, as far as a rematch with Brian, I'm not even sure if Devin even want to try to do that, man, because the type of beating he took from Ryan, man, it's hard to recover and come back and and employ, what I'm saying, the right game plan or stick to the right game plan, man, because that left hook is always going to be in the back of his mind. And if he gets put on his ass again, it'll be, it'll be a repeat of the first fight. Because I think him being put on his ass for the first time in his career, sometimes that can do something to a fighter. They get put in a
Cornelius,
position where
what's
they've
up?
never been before.
I
So I
mean,
mean, I'm not really interested in that rematch because I don't. I think Dev just needs to. He honestly just needs to build himself back up, man. Give himself a couple of soft touches, quote unquote, and then see how he moves from there. He just gotta. He can't just come out with power anywhere because he's always gonna be lacking that. So he just gotta figure out a way to just be able to, I guess, just stick to the game plan and just not deviate. Trying to slug it out with a slugger moving forward, and it'll be all right. I just don't. I think Ryan played too much head games with him, and Ryan is in his head too much, and then especially after that beating. So I don't see a rematch, turn out any different than the first one. But
okay.
I forgot what was the second part of your question. You just asked about
Shakur
Shakur
and
versus.
Tank. Well, how do you see that fight going? What's your 2 cents about that fight?
It's gonna be a real chess match in there. I know people like to, we like to mention that Shakur doesn't have power. Yeah, he doesn't have power, but one thing he does have is he's a master boxer and the ability to control the distance. And you gotta admit, it's hard to hit that man. I mean, you could try to, employ the whole walk down, but walking a boxer as elusive as he, trying to walk down a fighter as elusive as he is, it's easier said than done. Now Tank does possess the skill to maybe try to pull it off, but it'll be a good fight. Me
Well,
personally, I just want to see the fight.
let
I
me say
just want to see the fight.
I want to go on record saying this, and then we're gonna get to the Tank and Frank Martin fight. Tank and Shakur. I don't think this fight is going to be as competitive as people think it's going to be. I think that Tank's attributes, I think his IQ, and I think his skill level are going to be hard for Shakur. Now, when I ask people how can Shakur beat Tank, they say, you know what they tell me in HA2 and Kyle? Don't get hit. They tell me don't get hit. They tell me you can't hit Shakur. Shakur is hard to hit. Tank is going to hit you. And if he doesn't start getting into fights, in my opinion, where he does get hit, I think that there will be a detriment for him in the Tank fight because Tank is going to hit him. Tank is going to get to him. What is he going to do when he starts getting hit? How is he going to respond? How is he going to overcome that? How is he going to overcome when Tank start cutting the ring off, pushing him back? He can't do all that running around. Like, how is he going to overcome that? But that's just my 2 cents about the fight. And am I 100% right? I don't know. That's just my opinion. But Tank and Frank Martin, what are y'all thoughts about that fight? How do you see that fight going? I seen a video of Frank Martin hitting some pass the other day, and he looks really good. Like it's gonna be a really good competitive fight. But what y'all think? Nick,
So you think Tank versus Martin will be more competitive as far as than Tank versus Shakur?
do I think it will be more competitive? That's a good question. And yes and no. No. Let me say this. Do I think it'll become more competitive? I think it might be more physical, right? Because Shakur doesn't really engage like that, especially with a power puncher. So it's not that I think it'll be more competitive. I think it'll be more physical, if that makes sense. Because
But
Shakur
see,
doesn't like to get.
I ain't saying nobody likes to get hit. But this is the thing. I mean, we kind of like take it to the extreme when we say Shakur doesn't like to engage. Yes, we. I guess you could say he's like a little more cautious when he's in there with a puncher. But to say he doesn't engage, I mean, just based off that one fight, because a lot of people like to bring up the Nakatilia fight, but we keep forgetting he knocked Nakatilia down 2 times. So you got to. I mean, there's some type of engagement if you're knocking a fighter down twice.
Well, they're just
So
saying that. I think they're just saying that based off the style matchup, right? When he's fighting explosive punchers, he's out the way. It's not like he don't engage
yeah,
with nobody, but when he fighting that type of style, like he's really out the way.
that's true. I give you that. But let's just say if he's out the way and he's what I'm saying, and he's still able to what I'm saying, connect on Tank like he did against Nakatilia, because Tank gets hit. I mean, some people like to say, yeah, Tank lets you hit him, because he's setting the trap. But let's say Shakur does that, and Tank's not able, what I'm saying, to set that trap and catch him. What I'm saying, goes to the decision.
I mean, with that logic, considering the fact that Shakur doesn't really or is not known to have power like that, he would have to throw a high volume of punches. And hit
No, you
within him
don't.
throwing a high volume of punches, he's going to get caught doing that. Because how else is he gonna stop Tank from walking him down?
He could just land the cleaner punches throughout the fight, and just like he did against the other another hard puncher. I'll bring up Nakatiya. He landed the more convincing fight punches. He doesn't have to knock Tank down.
Well, that's I
Let's
mean
say
that's
he did it. Let's say he Edwin De Los Santos Tank for the whole fight, and ends up landing the more meaningful punches.
he not doing that.
Okay, so here's the thing about that, right? Like, from what I can see with Shakur, it's not that Shakur like is elusive or whatever. Yeah, he's elusive. He does not like to take damage. So if he gets hit hard with something, his response is going to be, "Oh no, I'm not trading in that." It's the difference between being elusive and being defensive and being afraid of taking any type of damage. When he fought this last dude, and that was a big telltale. He did not want to trade no punches at all because he didn't want to take no damage. With Tank, like kind of with 2 senses, but saying Shakur is going to have to throw a lot of punches because he don't got no power to keep Tank off of him.
We got Band Up in the building. What's up, Band Up? They go to Link. Well, go ahead.
And by the time he's doing all that, Tank's going to be as well. The thing about it is, if let's say Tank can't get any big punches, Tank can also switch it to boxing mode, which if he switches it to boxing mode, I don't think that benefits Shakur either. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. It's just one of those things where this is a bad style matchup for him. Especially
it's a bad style matchup. That's the same thing I said. It's a very bad style matchup.
The way Shakur is going to get hurt, real shot. And it's like, y'all shouldn't. He can't keep him off him. If you can't keep Tank off you, I don't know what you're going to do because he can do what you do. You can't do what he does. Because if you do, you're gonna get slept in a counterpunch.
So how do you feel like Frank Martin? Well, how Frank Martin will be? See this. How does Frank Martin beat Tank? Right, I've been thinking about this and thinking about like how does Frank Martin beat Tank? Does Frank Martin have the power? I mean, I know he has the athleticism and maybe the power to be, competitive with Tank, but I think Frank Martin's lack of experience is his biggest, the biggest thing he got going against him in this fight. And a lot of times I feel like Frank is kind of apprehensive. But what does Frank do to beat Tank in this fight?
I don't see there's not much you can't do, man. I mean, I don't know one thing. He just got to look better than he did his last fight. That's for sure.
I don't think he looked too bad in his last fight. He just, once again, I think that he had to overcome the guy's experience.
Okay, so he had to overcome the guy's experience who really wasn't that experienced, other than people like to harp on.
He's an Olympian.
It's the same. I know it's an Olympia, but not when it was rumored that Shakur is gonna be fighting him next. Oh, he's a bum. Look who Shakur's fighting. Oh, why Shakur fighting this guy? That's what I'm saying. I can't understand these double standards when it comes to when it comes to Shakur. There's a lot to criticize about Shakur, but in the ring, if you know, you know. That man is a problem. There's a reason why Tank is choosing to fight. You know what I'm saying? Tank's handlers know that Shakur is gonna be his toughest fight. If it's Shakur,
that is not why that fight is not happening.
No, check it out. I understand that. You're gonna say with the PBC and all this and that, but hey, listen, if Shakur is as easy as y'all making it seem it is for Tank, you know what I'm saying, there'll be an effort, you know what I'm saying, at least to reach out or something. But Bob, you know what I'm saying, I know y'all say Bob's not gonna make the fight, but Bob said he's not gonna put up the money for the fight.
Bob is not going to let him go because Bob is not, as long as Shakur is with Top Rank, the fight's not happening. That's what I'm saying. If he leaves, he'll go do the fight.
But y'all missed the part where Bob said yes, the fight can happen. He's like, the only way this fight can happen is if the Saudis do it. And for one thing we learned, you know what I'm saying, Turkey, he's willing to put on the biggest fight. Now the thing is, you know what I'm saying, Tank has already shown hesitancy to want to deal with Turkey, which kind of, you know what I'm saying, it seems a little bit strange.
But wait, NHA, now you see that Al is working with Turkey This whole next
Cool.
card, this whole card where Bud Crawford fighting a prospect, it got mostly PBC fighters on it, and now you see Shakur and Tank talking about making a fight.
And that's what I want. I want more than anything. If Shakur get his ass whooped, I come anybody show equal and say if he gets embarrassed and shit, I'm gonna call it like I see it. But I want to see the fight. The problem is, what I'm saying, with the fandom, we already given Tank the victory. So hence we don't need to see this fight. And it's
No,
like
nobody's
yo,
saying
everybody's
that.
like,
Who said that? Who said
but
they don't need
that's
to see the fight?
I'm not you to say it. I'm not saying you saying it, I'm not saying anybody in the panel. I'm just saying it's like it seems like there's a general sentiment. It's like
That's the
because
same way
we
they
already
do Bud Crawford.
feel nah.
That's the same way they do Bud Crawford. Say he
I
don't need to
you know
fight.
what, you're right.
He don't
Some
need to
some
fight
some
this
Buck fans do that.
fighter. What this fighter done, but then they cool with him fighting somebody with 10 fights.
You're right. Some of the Buck fans do say that. I'm not gonna front. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not one. I mean, I'm not one of them. I want him to see him. I want him to see him fight Bruce next. I want him to see him fight Bruce yesterday, just so he can just wipe that little boy up and just shut his fanboys up.
We
I
got
want the
Mr.
fight. I
Moss
want.
in the building with Mr. Moss. What's up? It's been a while. What's going on?
Oh, what up, 2 cents? It's been too long. I've been listening.
Uh,
Salute to everybody who's on the panel. What y'all talking about? I haven't got a chance to talk Devin, Ryan, Tank Shakur, but I'll hop in or just, piggyback off.
Well, first we was talking about how Ryan Garcia cheated fair and square.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
you can drop your 2 cents about that. And
For
then I
sure.
was wanted to know what do you think about the Frank and Tank fight? What does Frank have to do in order to be able to pull off a victory? And
Yeah.
then of course all the Mayweather drama and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
It's
for
just
sure. Well,
marketing, it's just real. What you got?
first and foremost, on the Ryan and Devin fight, those 3.5 pounds that Ryan came in over, all joking aside, Devin had a backup plan to fight somebody else if needed. And so from a managerial standpoint, and I'm not sure if you touched on this, but I don't think he should have took the fight. Once Ryan came in that much weight over and really just didn't care about it, then we knew the belts weren't on the line. But one thing is this, though, a lot of belts in today's day and age in boxing doesn't make the fighter. I mean, the fact is that Devin took the loss. With or with no belt, Ryan still beat you. And that's what these casual boxing fans care about. And so if I was Devin, I would have called the fight off because there's a reason why Tank made him, come in and not hydrate those 10 pounds. Ryan's a big kid. He's a big puncher. Is he the most technical boxer? No, but it's boxing and you're going to get hit, right? And so I was disappointed in Devin Haney's business side of it, right? And then from a technical boxing standpoint, I thought Devin was shit poor, right? Bad distance control, bad feet. I thought he should have been smothering Ryan on the inside, making it a dirty fight. But then again, he's not a good inside fighter. And so we saw what happened. And so that's my thoughts on that. I thought Devin got what he deserved, right? Handle your business inside and outside the ring. And so, that's what Floyd talks about, right? Boxing is so much more than just inside the square circle. Like sometimes the fights are won and lost, on the dotted line. And I think in this instance, him coming in 3.5 pounds overweight, you guys, and then hydrating up to damn near a fucking super middleweight or damn near, that big. I mean, the fight was lost. You know what I'm saying? And you saw Devin came in at 140, drained. He looked small. He looked sucked in. He looked weak. Even before he got caught with the first punch, I was watching Devin with his ring walk, and then when his dad took his sweater off, he didn't look strong to me. He looked fucking weak. And so that's what he fucking gets. Frank and Tank Davis, Frank has to box, right? I mean, can Frank box and win a technical decision? He's not going to knock Tank out, right? Unless he just catches Tank with something he doesn't see running in. But, we know Tank is a good counter puncher. Tank is a good boxer. I think for the first few rounds, it's going to be a chess match. It may be a boring first 2-3 rounds. Once Tank gets his distance, engages him a little bit, and feels the power, I think Tank will start to walk him down a little bit, go to the body, break him down, and then he gets caught with something late and then puts Frank out of there. Or this may be a thing where if he doesn't knock him out, it'll be a technical knockout where the ref stops the fight. All this Floyd and fucking Bill Haney banter, I don't know where this is coming from. I mean, obviously, at one point they were close. Devin worked with Floyd. I don't. I mean, I don't think Floyd's jealous of Bill. I mean, for crying out loud, we can call Floyd all the names in the book, but he's still Floyd Mayweather. I mean, he has money, he has everything. Maybe Floyd doesn't have the things that normal people have, far as like love and true love and girls and that liking for him. But I mean, I don't think Floyd's jealous of Bill Haney. I think Bill Haney is just in a shit poor mood right now. Based on what happened, and it's funny how this is all going on. After Devin lost and in between before Tank fights. Isn't it funny how? And then I'll close with this real quick, too, since just real quick. Isn't it funny how Tank and Floyd always kind of they beef before every Tank fight? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what
Yeah,
that is.
I just said that. I just said
Yeah, and so don't be surprised if I know Floyd's been in Dubai for a long time, but don't be surprised if Floyd is at the fight and they're all kumbaya and everything's cool. So I don't know. So I can't make. I don't know what to make of that. And I will tell you this though before we go on. Listen, besides the banter and the back and forth, Floyd did something this past week that we all been asking for, or at least I've been asking for. Breakdown fight from a technical standpoint. Floyd, tell me what you think Devin did wrong. And he did that a little bit with Zab Zuda on the live with Fight Hype and some other people. And so that part I like. Like I like to hear Zab and Floyd and these guys really talk technical boxing and break down how to get away from the left hook, keep your guard up, right? And so when Floyd does that and it's pure boxing, then I'm gonna listen. All the other nonsense, I really don't pay attention to.
Yep. And then another topic too I wanted to touch on, and y'all can give me your 2 cents, is the whole Earl Spence and Derek James situation with the lawsuit.
Ooh.
And a lot of people are saying that Earl Spence promised to pay Derek James 2.5 million and he didn't pay him and all of this other stuff. But I just want to get my 2 cents about that. Y'all drop your 2 cents in the chat and let me know, and then let the panel know. Now, from my understanding about the story and the lawsuit, is that since the inception of their business trainer relationship, Earl Spence had been paying Derek James 10% of whatever the quote unquote guaranteed purse was for his fights. And after the Earl Spence fight, for some reason, Derek James felt like, and it's my understanding that Earl paid him, and then he paid him what 250 something like that, and then gave him $100,000 bonus on top of what he had already paid him. So he paid him like 350 total. And so a lot of people, or the lawsuit states that I believe Derek James, now don't quote me on this 100%. I'm not 100% about the whole thing. This is just my 2 cents based off what I've heard and what I understood from what I've heard. So Derek James wanted 10% apparently of the total fight revenue from Derek James. And I mean from Earl Spence. And I heard Robert Garcia do an interview, and he said that the industry standard was that the trainers are usually paid 10% of the fighter's guaranteed purse, not from no back end money, not from t-shirt sales, and not from none of that, but they're usually just paid the 10% of the purse. And if the fighter wants to, they can give the trainer a bonus. So people were saying that once Anthony Joshua and Ryan Garcia got into the camp with Derek James, that maybe they were paying him more, or maybe their business arrangement or agreement was different, and maybe they were paying him from the total revenue and he was able to get more money. And so it kind of seemed like he kind of backdoored and went back to Spence and was like, hey, you made this and this, 10% of that is this. And Spence was probably like, oh, okay, that's what I owe you. Okay, cool. Because Spence doesn't come off to me as a type of guy to try to nickel and dime you like that, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. I'm just assuming. And so maybe Spence agreed to pay him the 2.5 million, but maybe he went back and tried to get the money maybe, or talked to his financial advisors, or talked to whoever. And they probably suggested that, he doesn't need to pay Derek James that. And my whole thing with that is, don't start training other fighters and have a certain business agreement with them and then try to come and backdoor and change our agreement that we already had. You get what I'm saying? Because who's to say that the agreement they had with other trainers that they wasn't getting played? Because if the industry standard is just 10% of the purse, and then you got other fighters that's paying trainers out of their whole revenue, who's to say that they're not getting played? You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's a weird situation that it wasn't until you got with other fighters that we started to have this issue. We didn't have this issue for the last 12 years. Me and you been working together. But now all of a sudden we had these issues. D-Town Funk in the building. What's going on? A1HZ. What's up? Slogan 1 says the lawsuit paperwork said he talked to Al and Al advised him. Okay. It says EJ paid him front end money. DJ wants some of the back end money. The KG say DJ is getting bad advice. And the KG say, having looked into this, EJ is 100% right. And my whole thing is, a lot, and now it's kind of like being spun like, oh, EJ didn't pay his trainer, and that's just simply not true. EJ paid his trainer. He just didn't pay what what Derek felt he deserved after he worked with other fighters. So if me and NHA working together and we have a business deal, and then I go work with D-Town Funk and we have another business deal, we doing the same business, we in the same industry, and D-Town Funk give me more money, or we have a different contract, how am I gonna go backdoor to NHA and be like, hey, NHA, you should be paying me this much because this is what D-Town paid me? I don't really think that's fair. I think they could have renegotiated and been like, hey, you know what? Moving forward, this is what we should be doing. But to try to like backdoor me and then get back pay from all the previous fights and all of these things, I just think that that's a little weird, man. I think that's a little weird. What y'all think?
Man, what was the guarantee for the Spence Crawford
And that's
fight?
another thing. People were saying that the guarantee, I think they were saying like Earl Spence made 30. Of course, we don't know, but they were saying like Earl Spence made 30 million on the Terrence Crawford fight. But they're saying the guarantee was 25 million. How was the guarantee
Nah,
25 million if he only made 30 million on the fight?
nah, I heard the guarantee for Spence was like 12.5, and then he made out 25 after the back end. You know what I'm saying? But if let's just say if your guarantee is 12 mil, why are you only paying Derrick James 250,000?
Well, what's
You
10% of 12
guarantee
million?
1.2.
Then him that must not have been his guarantee.
I don't know,
I
man.
don't know. I mean, but even if the guarantee was 12 million and it's 1.2, then he need to pay him the 1.2. He need to pay him what he owe him. But all I'm saying is, if I've been paying you what we've agreed upon, don't make it seem like I'm not paying you. I'm paying you what we agreed upon.
But I've also read, I've also heard, you know what I'm saying, read that this ain't the first time, you know what I'm saying, they had this discussion as far as like pay from forgot what I, you know what I'm saying, where I heard that from. It's like,
Oh, so it's been an ongoing thing.
yeah, and DJ will be like, I mean, Errol will be like, no, I got you on the next one. I got you. I'm still waiting, blah, blah, this and that. I don't know how true it is, man, but supposedly it's the first thing. But you got to understand, too, it's like, I mean, he, Derrick James is not stupid. He know how the PBC model is. You know, you're going to get low upfront guaranteed money. You know what I'm saying? Get the rest on, you know what I'm saying, on the back end. So, I mean, you know what, you know your fighter is getting way more than what's being reported, you know what I'm saying, by the commission. So the fact that, you know what I'm saying, Arrow's still only paying them 10% off just the, you know what I'm saying, what's being reported, to me seems, I don't know. I don't want to say shady. It just seems it's in poor taste, I guess, for lack of a better term. That's the man that, you know what I'm saying, that, you know what I'm saying, you came up with. You know, been ride with you since day one. Since the amateurs. I mean, since how long since EJ was in his early teens? How much time and money has EJ invested in Errol Spence?
Not a lot because
You
DJ
can't.
had his full time job. He only trained Spence when it was time to train. So, like a lot of people want to sit here and maybe act like, oh, he was the full time trainer, and like he wasn't. He trained Spence before the fight, and y'all, everybody knows Spence was bullshitting, so he probably wasn't training, but in between fights.
So we gonna act like
I'm not
EJ,
justifying anything.
EJ,
I'm not doing
EJ.
that.
I'm saying,
But
I was gonna
you're
say, he said,
asking like how much time and effort, how much time he invested, and I'm just making the point that he probably was only dealing with him before his fight for the fight camp, and then that was it. Then they went their separate ways.
now the reason I brought it up because I'm saying how much time, how much time and money he invested. Because once when he amateurs, you gotta understand, like, you know. I know EJ is probably one of those saying fighters that was better off because he had a parent, you know what I'm saying? He had a father who's invested in him. But you gotta say a lot of these trainers, man, especially, you know, in the early
Yeah,
days,
yeah,
they
I do
take you to the
understand sometimes.
nationals,
Yeah, yeah.
they bring you here, this and that. That's a lot of commitment, you know what I'm saying? And I bring that up because DJ been with EJ, man, for so long. So it's just off GP. I mean, Errol Spence, man, you got to break that man off. You know what I'm saying? With more than that, punk. I'm gonna say punk ass, because 250,000 is still a lot of money and shit. But it's like you got to do them right. You got to do them better than that.
Well, here's the thing about this, right? Um, we don't. This is first of all, I really, really don't like when people be suing each other for money and everything comes out to the public about contracts, and then we got to start looking what's in it because we don't know the total amount of money that what's his name is getting from these. Are like we can only guess, right? So it's subjective. That's the first thing. The second thing about that is, with Derrick James having Errol Spence, Errol Spence has been projected to be at least a good boxer for a while. So even though he invested, he knew in the back of his mind he was going to get that. It's not one of those I had to take a chance. Nobody believed in you. Everybody's pretty much been talking about EJ for a minute, right? So he knew he was going to get something back from that. From what I've seen from the papers and the report, it seems like Derrick James got a little something for Anthony Joshua, Ryan Garcia, and maybe wanted to double back, or maybe he did an audit. He probably got an audit and was like, "Hey, based upon some things that I've seen and what I've got from here, I'm owed a little bit of money, or maybe there was some money that was held back from a fight before, and he's trying to get it." I also think Derrick James is kind of tired of the Errol Spence situation. So I think it's one of those situations where he's going to get his money and then go on about his way. That's just what I think.
Well, I've also heard that maybe Spence was really about to leave Derrick James.
Mm.
So maybe you could kind of take that into consideration. But I want to thank everybody for coming up here tonight. It's about time for me to hop off. I'm gonna let you guys get your last 2 cents in. We're gonna start with you, Kyle.
Yeah, man. I think we got a lot of interesting fights coming into its fruition as far as everything, man. I mean, boxing's turned into a minstrel show with the money, the contracts, and the networks, man. So, as far as the EJ and the DJ situation, we'll see, right? At the end of the day, it's always about the money. So, that's what it's gonna come down to.
All right, thank you for coming up here and joining me today. Is this your first time here?
Mine, yes.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, make sure you subscribe to the channel and join me here next Sunday, same time, 5 p.m. I
Most definitely.
will be back. Thank you. NHA2, what you got for me?
Yeah, just touch up on what my guy said. We got a lot of good fights coming up, but hopefully moving forward, man, we can have more and more of the best fighting the best, man, with your excellency getting involved in the sport and taking one barrier out the way, which is the money. You know what I'm saying? And having these promoters, man, come to work together, man, put on the biggest fights. Because I want to see these fights, man. I'm a fan of boxing first and foremost. I have some of my, my favorite fighters, but I ain't in the business of protecting my favorite fighter. I want my favorite fighter to fight the best. I don't give what side he's on. I just want to see the fight because I want to see if my favorite fighter is what he say he is. So hopefully moving forward, man, we can it's a good thing for boxing. We can start getting these fights, and then that's a win-win for everybody. It's a win-win for them because they're gonna get their bag, and win-win for us. We gonna get the fights. And but that's about it, man. You keep doing your thing. Been a blessing coming up on here again, man. Kind of missed the gang, man. Hopefully we can do this more often.
All
Have
right,
a good night.
NHA. Thanks y'all for coming up here. Thank you for coming up here and sharing your 2 cents with me. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight. Another great show. We had a good time. Look, I didn't even get to cover everything. It's so much going on in boxing right now. Let's see. D-Town Funk say, I do think we are all jumping the gun just a little bit here. This is personal. Think with the two. They've been together so long. It may be deeper than we know. And D-Town Funk, I actually can agree with that. This does seem a tad bit personal. I guess the next question is, will they be able to overcome this? Will they be able to overcome this? We will be able to talk about that the next fight. But like I said at the start of this show, Ryan Garcia cheated fair and square. I want to thank D-Town, the Keji, Dragon Assassin, Big Supreme, Tamika Gibson, Slogan One, A1 Hoop Zone, Frequent Flyer, Rick Timms, Getting Lost in the Script, King, Big Dre, Band Up, Noble Young, Lenovo, Samuel Washington, Ashley's Corner, Cornelius Burnett, Ariana. I want to thank all of you all for joining me today on my show. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Be sure to punch that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, or be sure to drop me a little some in the Cash App at 2 cents boxing, 2 cents boxing with the S. And I look forward to seeing you all on the next show.
Oh,